Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Endless Legend, where today we are playing the Vaulters for what may be the penultimate game of the impossible difficulty. We'll see. Fingers crossed. The true origin of the Vaulters is lost even to themselves, because they have not played Dungeon of the Endless. Their history, as they teach it to their children, begins with a great metal habitat lodged beneath the surface of Auriga. Naturally conservative and wary, the Vaulters have limited relations with the other peoples of Auriga. The metal habitat, the Dungeon of the Endless, to be clear, it is a big endless research facility beneath the crust of the planet. It's huge, it's labyrinthine, it extends for miles in every direction and goes down dozens and dozens of floors. So they sort of carved their whole life out down there until they could not any longer, right? I don't think I've talked about the Mizari at all. So just to clear this up, the Mizari are the Vaulters. This is just a skin. You can even see they've got the Vaulters main quest. They have all the same units. It's just all the units look a little bit different. The difference is mainly cosmetic. I think they might have a different starting hero. But we're going to be playing as the Vaulters because I like their outfits slightly more. That's really it. So the Vaulters are not a terribly complicated faction. They really have sort of like one big important mechanical idea, and then everything else that's special about them is sort of like the implications of this idea. So as the Vaulters, you can fire your strategic resources in the same way that you can fire luxury resources. Each one has its own effect. You know, firing a titanium booster gives you bonus science, presumably because titanium is blue. Firing glass steel gives you bonus dust for 10 turns, and so on. And when you fire a strategic resource in this way, it designates that as the holy resource of your empire. During the winter, as you can see at the bottom of this tooltip, you pull the holy resource out of the ground much, much faster, and all of the Vaulter military units get extra stats. I think it's 50% extra stats from any strategic gear that is made out of the holy resource. In addition, as long as the booster is active, your units can just teleport from any one of your cities to any one of your cities, which obviously is extremely powerful both offensively and defensively. And to be clear, when you run the booster, it designates that resource as the holy resource until you run another booster. Even if I say fire some titanium and then 10 turns later the titanium booster runs out, titanium is still my holy resource until I fire another resource in that way. During the eclipse, as long as the holy resource boost is active, Vaulters can also teleport units directly to any commander. So instant reinforcements, very difficult to wear a Vaulter player down in the field during the eclipse. We have a knack for knowledge that gets us 1 extra science on any terrain tile that has science on it. And we also get +1 resource out of every strategic resource extractor, no matter what, which, combined with the +200% holy resource generation during winter, means we're just going to have a lot of metal. We have some special techs, we'll talk about those when we get to them. We start the game with Open Pit Mine, the luxury extractor, not the strategic one, presumably because starting with the strategic tech would be too powerful. And also Public Library, of course, because science. So we did get the Vaulter title screen too, which I'm viewing as a good omen. Everything else about this game is the same as the games we have been running, so let's do it. And I'll see you in there in a moment.
Our legend spoke of a great journey beneath the stars. Safe in our halls and mines, we ignored these old tales. But then the great quake cracked our halls open, revealing ancient secrets and relics. These unknown relics carried our patterns, our images, hints of a hidden past. We took them and fled the destruction, seeking a new life on the surface. Now the legends and relics of our past show the way to our future. The journey will be dangerous, sometimes deadly, but we go forth without fear or ignorance. For courage and knowledge are the bywords of the Vultures.
Although, to be fair, that's probably a thing that, like, every group of people would say about themselves. Okay, looks like this time we generated a little bit closer to the middle, probably just, like, a bit north of the equator. We are introduced to our Draken friend immediately. Somewhere there is a green Draken. And I gotta say, this is not ideal. There's not a lot of science on these tiles. Obviously, we always want to be settling into science, and there's way too much forest around here for us to move elsewhere, but we do have both Mycordia and Steel Stalks. Good resources in there, are good anomalies in their own right, and then both of them give approval. So, yeah, this is all right. We're just gonna want to fan out a little bit, so we can see some ruins over here. Let's run out our initial Marines to the north. We're gonna probably want to look polar. Like there's absolutely terrain that gives science in the warmer regions. Obviously red soil. There's enchanted forest is a type of forest that gives some science, but colder terrain is better, of course. You have seen many times all of the science points on cold terrain, so... Oh, come here, you. Okay. Search this real quick. So we do have coastline right away. That's good news. We also have 30 dust right away. It's hard to be upset about that. I'll find a way, but, you know, it's going to challenge me is all I'm saying. It is going to be a little bit awkward to get units back to the city if we should need to. I'm not wild about our starting terrain here. So there's another ruin there. What we'll probably do is just have these units ignore it. I'll have the hero run up there and then warp her over to somebody. So given the terrain, I don't think we have a lot of options. Realistically, we are settling here or here. And this is, I think, just way obviously better. We have an extra tile that has 4 resources on it on account of the fact that it has science. Plus, this is closer to the ocean. The difference is this tile has like a couple more points of industry, but yeah, this has got to be the way to go. So it is worth noting, with 2 sources of approval, it does not take very much luxury boosting to get us to fervent. So, you know, a thing to think about. And let's talk about our basic unit here. So we have a totally normal settler. You know, some factions get a special settler that has like 6 move or whatever. Ours is the most normal. Our default unit is an archer, and it's a pretty good archer. You can see 47 attack, 34 damage. And here is that Techno Lover trait. So, plus 35% to the effects provided by equipment made with the Holy Resource. This has definitely been toned down over time. I'm sure that it used to be 50%. I feel pretty confident. So of course we have the option of crossbow and shield or longbow for better stats in Flying Slayer. Pretty standard. Obviously it can be very dangerous in the early game to go up against a player who has a ranged unit as their main thing. And especially once we get like if we rush to tier 2, get our strategic weapons, our tier 2 strategic weapons early, and then just push another player, the statistical advantage we're going to have is so large that basically nobody's going to be able to resist us. Oh, I should probably like build stuff in my city. It is, of course, important to remember that they will be able to just outproduce us. There will be a lot more troops on their side than we will have, but that's a problem we'll deal with when we get there. So our second unit, the Dawn Officer, is just heavy cavalry. You can see they've got charge. They're pretty fast. They equip axes, so fast unit with Range Slayer is pretty great. But pretty poor attack, pretty poor damage. They're just not very aggressive. And then when we hit Era 2, we have access to the Titan, who plays a very standard heavy infantry role. Slow moving, very low initiative. They're fine. They're good heavy infantry to block for your archers, right? Like it's a very strategically coherent lineup. The Vultures are one of the few factions who I feel like don't really need anything. They kind of like their home units kind of have the job covered. So let's just pick up Language Square real quick, pacify 8 villages for this, or Activate 4 boosters for 130 die. That's a little lower stakes than that thing sometimes is. Just like, you know, dies in the early game, it's not super valuable. Whenever it's wine, I feel like I have to try really hard to get it, you know? Ugh, this is terrible. This is truly horrible to move through. So our home region has a minor faction that is another archer, definitely not a valuable assimilate. And then also there's this, and look, it's everybody's best friend, Opbot. Opbot is a character in Dungeon of the Endless. He is critical to the plot of the Vaulters in this game, and then also he is critical to the plot of the Vaulters in Endless Space 2. I really love how many connections there are between all of the Endless games. They call themselves Vaulters. They found me scorched and blackened in an ancient cavern that their people had long forgotten. How long had I lain in that darkness? Only the stars know, but my limbs, rusted and groaning, tell me ages must have passed. I will never forget the looks on their faces. Haunted, awestruck, but above all, fearful. The realm that they'd called home, the subterranean paths and chambers that riddled the planet, had come under attack from some cataclysmic force, had shaken and split and ruptured, decimating their numbers. Their leader, the first of the bloodline as she is known, recognized in me something valuable and brought me back to life in that dusty crypt. For this I will be eternally grateful. I vow to be her faithful servant until the end of days, wherever that may lead. Now they retreat to the surface, where they believe they will find respite, where they hope they will find answers. First of the bloodline, Zolya has made the first priority the assimilation of the local tribes. While they strike out into unknown lands under the sky's watchful gaze, I will try to remember past days. So, we are, I guess, for the purpose of the thing, our prospective character is Opbot. My saviors have retreated from the chaos of the subterranean realm. Our first task is to assimilate a minor faction, and we're gonna hope that there's a good one around here somewhere. Alright, let's see what this looks like. Does this cliff... Alright, there are Kazanji here. Let's go around. Okay, so a lot of red soil around here. This stuff is interesting. This is maybe a compelling region for us to put down in. Like I said, we're gonna have you run up here. So do we have any strategics that we can see? We do not. Yeah, seems like maybe not an awesome starting region. Alright, and our poor Brass Legion scout down here is... Next turn going to be able to do something meaningful. Probably. Okay, titanium, cool. And some more dust. So I suppose what I should be buying this out, right? And just pushing on to that quickly. And I think we are in a position where we are going to need a mill pretty fast. I'm reluctant to go early cultivation here. We could hit winter any moment now. So... where do I want to put the hero is the question. Where do I think we're going to get better value? I'm going to snap her down here. Oh, also, we should take a quick look at Petrov Judith II. She has 4 range, which is obviously a big deal. Science efficiency 2, which is kind of like very much a late game sort of thing. But also army defense 2, which is hard to come by and pretty powerful. So I think she's probably going to remain commander. Also, I just don't think Vaulters would make very good governors, frankly. And, you know, she's like an early ranged commander is such a big deal because you can end up with all of this damage and all of this extra range on an army that's going to be pretty archer based, and she just makes a wonderful commander. All right, let us parlay. I'm not unwilling to give you 50 dust, but we'll come back to that, I think. So there's another steel stock here and another steel stock up there. This must be the right climate for them or something. right, what do you want? There's a Saratan village in Auriga that has to be destroyed. Well, I am confident we can do that. Saratan are not very good fighters. Do we have any idea? Nope, can't see any names at all. So we just have to pick a direction here. I'm gonna pick this one. That is a Silic village. So that's not the region in question. Man, there's a lot of really beautiful terrain up here. Really, really good anomalies, lots of science on the tiles. This is encouraging stuff. So I can't separate her off just yet. I think let's go have a chat with the Silics. Okay, that's good news, and we will probably get to benefit from those spices. A little bit of early glass steel might be really valuable. Yep, another great big life tree. Ooh, there are spices in this region too. This is looking really strong as a second settlement. What does it take to buy this out? Okay, we are definitely not going to be able to afford it next turn. We're gonna swap people over onto the mill foundry as soon as it's available. For hopefully obvious reasons, because it shouldn't take us 8 turns to build a library. And I might want to actually, like, really speed this up. This is such an important building if you start in a low industry position like we have. Okay, 30 dust also helps. So that's just the Kazanji again. And we have no idea. The quest for our archers could, the quest for our home region minor faction, words, could be this region or it could be this region. I guess we should check south because our other army's in a better position to check the other way. Yeah, absolutely not. There is no way that that is what I am doing with spices. Alright. So we've got the red player here. It might be a good idea to figure out who that is quickly. And we are going to finish our technologies a lot faster than we're going to be able to put them to use. The strategic booster from... the booster you get by firing strategic resources does not give approval. So... if we want approval, I might prioritize sewer systems over the furnace. We definitely want to get our furnace early, but... you know, the cities being fervent is a big deal. It's a thing that you do have to care about a lot. Got another quest. Okay, that one we will definitely get done at some point. So do we have a name for this region? Gogthal. That we were looking for Ontab, right? Adoran. Sorry, Adoran. Okay, well. Let's see if we can't lay eyes to it. Yeah, this is a lot of really nice terrain. So would I rather save the dust that I have for quest fulfillment than use it to buy out the last buy out a single turn off the mill? Maybe? might be able to just, I actually might be able to do both. Yeah, okay. Let's get that done. That seems important. Now, where is this village? Yep. Have we? No, we have not spoken to this region's Kazanji yet. Interesting that there's another Kazanji region so close. They want 8 titanium. You know, it's a price that is doable sometimes. I think probably we're going to struggle with it a little bit here. I do not feel like we are getting that that really powerful start that you often need to pull tactical training. I think we may already have lost it. Just getting a couple of difficult quests right away. All right, 30 more dust. There it is. Yeah, so now that that's done, we can refocus a little bit here. So I think we're going to end up warping the hero again, but we can grab this other ruin over here first. Oh, hey, it's the Alai in purple. That's actually really interesting. I wonder where they're from. They could be west, they could be south. All right, I think we gotta meet Red. This is an important part of where our adventure is going from here. Unfortunately, there was in fact an enemy in Rothald. Showed up just to ruin my day and prevent me from getting lots of free spices. We could have attacked it, but it would have just retreated. Okay, so we pulled a pretty quick 5 and 5, which means that, especially since we already have our mill done and we're about to be able to buy out the rest of the sewer system, we could make a play for the museum if we want to. And maybe should? I also think I'm gonna warp my hero over here, and we're just gonna lay this village out real fast. Let's get that XP, shall we? This should be very straightforward. Now, only 68 health. We do have shields, but we have a base defense of 42, so you know it's not easy. We're gonna suffer some. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So you could move to there. Yeah, let's try it like that. And we're good shots, but these enemies do have a lot of health. Nope, focus up. We kill one at a time. They're gonna have high ground no matter how I do this now, so actually I can back up. Get a little tree cover at the very least. Still not enough to get that 0, though. Alright, well that counts as 1 pacification. Get back to the village and restore their trust. So this is Fire 4 luxury boosters. Alright, there's no reason to launch emeralds just yet, but it's definitely a thing to think about. Out of curiosity, has anybody else started the museum? No, nobody else has started the museum. So, if we say build the museum out to the coast, I guess it doesn't really matter which direction we do it in. I'm debating between these two, obviously. Yeah, let's say we go this way. And we do it like that. 16 turns. But that's with the city only being happy. Here. We're going to do this. We're going to buy out the sewer system. And then when we get to 4 population, we're going to shift everybody over to industry. I'm gonna make the play for it. I do think that it is quite valuable if you can get it. Also, interesting to see that Red's territory actually extends much further north. So we have to return to the Magte to check in the quest. But there's all these ruins around here. Let's grab some of these real fast. Okay, colonize the region for some titanium and whatnot. We'll see. Okay, it's the Morgar. That's interesting information. You are definitely going to flee at the beginning of next turn as quickly as possible. So, it's an inland Morgar player unless the continent that we're on is pretty narrow, which it could be. Remember, we've got all of the the continent shape and stuff on random. So sometimes we're going to get one big landmass, sometimes it's going to be islands and stuff. We do not have a good sense yet of which one of those things we have here. Yeah, just like no information at all. You know, maybe you're going to head home and deal with this while the hero just stays out adventuring. I actually like that idea. I totally forgot I was going to buy out the sewer system. It's fine. I'm definitely a little worried about how long this is going to take. If we get it, though, the bonus dust and science output is so big. Did I just not talk to these Silics? Oh no, I failed their quest. Right. Well, that is a shame. I do not believe that we will be offered another. Okay, another... I'm kind of surprised they're able to get those victories with just masterminds. But they sure are preventing me from pacifying any villages. I really do not think that the... what do you call it? I do not think that that achievement, the tactical training, is in the cards for us here. Which is, you know, it's fine. Do we want to just head north? I guess so. Let's see what's on this side of the bay. Or I guess that might be a lake. This reads as coastal water, so actually this is going to be ocean access over here. So yeah, we're on kind of a small continent with the Morgar. And presumably the Alayi, although again, the Alayi do start with boat tech, so they could have just sent their stuff across the ocean. Speaking of boat tech, we should have boat tech. I guess I don't need it right this second. You know what? Give me Mercenary Market. We're not going to be able to build anything that we would unlock through technology anyway for a little bit. So let's take the thing that we know that we want that doesn't require any building to use. Okay, there's someone alive that we can still talk to. Okay, we're going to get home and be able to add another point of population to this pretty soon. Do I want to fire the titanium extractor now? Like, this amount of dust is not enough to... but it might be... Depending on how things go, what we might end up doing is being able to buy a hero. Like, if we get an eclipse before the winter, or even if we just get lucky with a couple of ruins. So maybe let's not be in a big hurry here to spend. We'll parlay with you, which gets us 80 dust. Oh yeah, see, like, that's a pretty significant amount right there. Next turn, we have the mercenary market open. We may be able to buy a hero for that city, which would certainly be helpful. This is lovely. Look at that. And that's an oasis, so that's approval. Yeah, geez. Okay, not a lot of science up here, but definitely still a very strong build position. Alright, let's see. What do heroes cost right now? It's probably close to 300. Yeah. So we need a couple of good ruin hits. Or... No, I mean, that's it, really. We need a couple of good ruin hits. I will head south and see if maybe there's something available down there. It would certainly help a lot colonize the region. It would certainly help a lot if we had an eclipse occur. But, well, we still have time. There's still quite a few turns on the maximum side of the indicator there. So I'm still not thinking about quick cultivation. I'm thinking like, let's take these two as our last text to get out of here. We're gonna end up coming back for a whole bunch of stuff. But we're moving to Era 2 pretty quickly here. In fact, we're going to be in Era 2 by the time of our Empire plan, I do believe. Oh no. What an awkward spot for the... Yeah. What an awkward spot for that bottleneck. Or no, we're gonna finish Technology 8 right as the Empire plan happens. So close, but not quite getting into the second era. And there are simply no ruins down here. We've already spoken to you, yeah. This is a real bummer. We're not going to be able to get a hero. Because the cost is always rising. Show me 70 dust. 10 die. Well, let's get the extra point of movement. Yeah, the cost is always rising, and we certainly don't have time to devote to putting people on dust. We could maybe sell an archer. You know, that is technically an option since we have the marketplace open. Alright, something good? Nothing. Nothing at all, in fact. Cool. Well, there is some stuff in their territory, and they haven't closed their borders on me yet, so guess we'll go look over there. Am I still in first place on this? Yes. Okay. Can I actually take this fight? If I can't take this fight, it's pretty bad news, actually. Because of our position, we won't be able to, like, a retreat now kills the army because we won't be able to get past them to leave, so I guess we have to fight it. But I think they're going to kill us. I think this is really, really bad. I guess one concern, what I should maybe have done if I think they're going to kill us is had run away and then re-equipped the hero onto the other army. Yeah, shoot, I should have done that. Okay, well, if I separate us into two bits here, then... for some reason I'm not able to click a unit over to here, despite the fact that that is clearly our deployment zone color, and there is a path to it, but I guess there's not a path to it that stays within the deployment area. Ugh, we didn't even get to go first. Yeah, this is some grim shit here. Yep. Well, you know, our hero's relatively tough. She's gonna be... nope, never mind. 100% dead. I was gonna say she doesn't have to roll high on defense that many times to block. So yeah, that's hugely bad. That's not a game losing problem, but it's like it's pretty bad. We're gonna be without a hero for a really long time. I suppose losing an army does lower our military upkeep costs. Really, you're attacking me even though I'm not in your region. That is not how that works generally. So, do I want to commit? I probably want to do this because we are going to want to buy a hero after we finish the thing. Yeah, this is not a thing that neutral units do. I felt pretty safe being here because as long as you're not in their territory, generally. Okay. Sure. Not only didn't go to us, but it went to the person who is most likely to use it against us. You're not going to move at all, huh? This sucks so much. Because there's the zone of control they're projecting means that this costs me to move. And then it costs me to move to go back. And then I'm going to run away at the beginning of next turn. And yeah, basically everything has gone pretty sideways here all of a sudden. So we're getting pretty close to being able to do a thing. I don't actually want to fire either of these yet. I think the benefit is too low. I'm still first, right? All right, I'm gonna use the dust to buy a hero. I'm gonna save. Do I want never rests? Probably not. Oh, you just have flat industry boost. Most necrophages have slavery, which would not be good in this region. What I want, of course, is like Ozek. Ozek would be a much better move, but Ozek is 330 and getting more expensive. Ozek is a much better move, though. Yeah, let's hold. Oh, they actually did chase. Okay, that's just not the behavior that minor factions have. Interesting. I wonder if something's going on there. Can they be Cat's Pod? They could be Cat's Pod. They must be Cat's Pod. It's turn 22. Okay, we might lose this game. I'm having some serious doubts here. All right, how much cost did you gain? You gained like 5 dust worth of cost. Okay, so we will be able to buy you next turn, and we are getting our wonder. But yeah, this is developing in a way that I have some serious concerns about. That gets me ocean access, though. We already have boat technology. We have a very good governor for our first city. Sorry, this is the button I want for that. Okay. Can't start building a boat. Don't have 10 dust. Yep, that's true. I did not do that. Yeah, this is an interesting position. Red is on 3 regions already with tactical training, like really aggressively settling on us. And in all of the land that is still available to us, there's like 1 strategic resource. If we settle across Aderan to Gadek very quickly, then we can get Glasssteel, I suppose. But we're in danger. We're in a hard spot here. Now, ordinarily, what I would be doing at this moment is powering out settlers. I really want to build boats, though. I mean, if we don't settle across here, we're doomed, right? They will fence us in. Yeah. I think what we do is we settle Garak next, and then if they take Adoran, we have to build around the coast, but otherwise we get Adoran right after. I guess actually we should probably do this. Throw that extra movement trinket on there. Yeah, it's going to save us at least a turn of travel time. It will be literally the only military unit we own. Okay, so let's talk also about our unique technology here. We are going to get access to a couple of buildings that cost holy resource. So we're going to probably have titanium as our holy resource early on here. The fact that there are only 2 strategic resources available on our whole continent is going to make it a lot more difficult to utilize the push strategy that we should be allowed to utilize here. I don't really know what to do about that. I don't think we have time to worry about it right now. I think let's go back and get Dawn Officers. I think Dawn Officers are going to be quite good against Morgar. We're going to go Dawn Officer, Meritocratic Promotion, and Alchemical Alloys probably as our next set of techs. And we're going to have to build ourselves a new army. So you can see titanium coming in from that 1 booster at a rate of 2 per turn, of course. We're going to make it the holy resource, then winter's going to fall, or, winter's going to fall, and then we're going to make it the holy resource. But in any case, we're going to be getting it very quickly during the winter. Which could really be any moment now. And I like the fact that we're making a reasonable amount of money without any actual money focus. That gives me some hope that we might be able to acquire a second commander or a second governor type whenever the dust eclipse does happen. It looks like it's definitely going to be post-winter at this point. We have very few things to do, very few choices to make during this turn, during this set of turns. Yep, Fomorians. We are probably not going to be able to boarding vessel our way into very much ocean by the time we're actually able to build ships. It may be the case that we should just go to fire vessels. Alright, let's get you out here. So what I want you to do is end up in this area. We have to be super, super careful because many of the minor factions around here are untamed. So let's just give this a second. Alright, we can be out of your hair quickly. Yeah, the good news is we're moving across borders each turn, so hopefully no particular minor faction. Right, what a good time for winter. Well, we're definitely going to fire a titanium booster. So that has set the holy resource for the first time. Does there have to be a cliff there? Is that necessary? Ugh. Very inconvenient. Alright, so everything's going to take a million years to do here. This is a slow start. We're going to need access to alchemical alloys for sure. This 5 turns per research thing. It's bad. It's bad news. What is this? Oh, sure. Cool. Alright, so we're almost there. I don't know exactly which tile we're going to put down in, but we're almost in the general area. So we are pulling 6 titanium out of the ground each turn from our 1 extractor. Situation would be a lot harder to deal with if we were any other faction. Alright, so let's actually plan this. Hi, Purple. Yep. Tell me you please have... Okay, yeah, 5 more points of movement left. Maybe I should have just fought it. It has 34 health. No, a settler's never going to kill a Sky Fin. That's just not happening. So... that Skyfin being there probably... that really, really sucks. We're going to have to put the city down here, even though probably where I want it is there. Or like, no, here's better, right? Because this means it's one district out to get to the Dragon Tree, which gives even more approval. Yeah, like this is the optimal spot. Well, you know what we can do? We can hop it, though. We haven't had much call for this during this series, but yeah, this is a thing we can do. Okay, we'll hop it, because I do want it in the right place. It's not a thing I do very much. This is exactly the right situation for it. If our settler remains a settler, it's dead. We're going to lose that settler. We're going to lose the opportunity to settle here. So, we did get some things, which I appreciate. Hopping the city may break those quests, but I don't think I care enough. I think we still have to do it. I think it's still right. I don't know. Get up here somewhere. But this would pacify the Dorgeshi. Dorgeshi are a good pacify to have. Oh, I guess actually all of the Dorgeshi are already pacified. Yeah, okay. I don't know if it's going to break it or not. So, what we're going to do here is we're going to raise the city. I haven't used this ability at all during this series, I don't think. But when you do this, it converts the city back into a... packs it back up into a settler, basically. There are very few situations in which it makes sense to do this, but I think we've got one of them here where I needed to become a city for defensive purposes, and then we'll just pick up and move the final tile next turn. I should note, you absolutely should not ever do this with your capital. It can be tempting to do that with your first settler if you've got one of those I need to settle on turn 2 positions because there's a really good spot somewhere further away. But the very first time you settle a city in a game, that city gets the palace. If you raise the city and then resettle, the newly settled city will not get a second palace, and you will be out all of that money, and you will be out that extra trade route, and that extra 22 dust per turn, you need that really, really badly in the early game. That's how you can afford your initial buildings and armies. If you lose your palace, you are going to be broken, probably a permanent way. Okay, so now that we've actually done this, what do I want to do next? Do I want to try for the ocean, or do I think that we're too late? We're not going to be able to get ships out to fortresses until turn 40. But we have done some good work in the past. I guess let's give it a try here. Let's at least do a couple. Alright, so we're going to want to move quickly when we do this. Because again, that Skyfin's still around. Why am I not allowed to select my unit? There we go. But you can see it creates a new full health settler. There we go. That's the better location. And we just got black spotted. Yep, true, common frontier. So yeah, that did break those 2 quests. It's fine. The Setsuke thing happened already. Very much someone else's problem. Okay. Please do not do that. So we're going to be at war with these Morgar pretty soon, no matter what we do. Right, so I suspect they're going to make it a problem. So, how do I want to arrange this? You don't usually want to settle adjacent to the border, but I honestly wonder if this is the right tile. 12-3, 14-3 with approval versus 10-1, 17-4 with no approval, or... Yeah, it is in fact right there. We should fire both of these boosters now so that this city will still be at 70. The two new cities will be at 70. Well, actually, no, just Gadak, right? Because the other city only has one approval boost. But we can maintain happiness in Gadak at least. Yeah, so that is not my problem right there. Alright, so we're building up lots of titanium to hand over to the troops. Winter ends right as we're putting down our third city, which is probably good. We're producing a lot of influence already. Okay, the Urkin Lice Hunt is already over, remarkably. So, Gadak building a mill foundry. You should probably also be building a mill foundry. Yep, that was never going to be us. And also, I kind of am not super concerned about it. So, meritocratic promotion is probably not actually the thing to go for right now because we do not have the troops to benefit from it. Let's have a look around. Okay, so here we have a level 2 boarding vessel that's at partial health. Let's try to avoid fighting it as long as there's only one of us. You want me to activate 2 wine posters. These robots would love it if you could show them how to get really drunk. The palliative prow that you receive from this quest is actually really good. It gives auto heal. It unfortunately requires Hyperium and Adamantium, so you don't get to use it very much in the early game, but it's powerful. Oof, this is a little awkward. All this lightning doesn't make it really easy for me to set up a destination to flee to. How's my commander doing? Okay, she's, you know what? We can resurrect her and at least have her running around the map, getting little tiny bits of passive XP. Place her over here. We didn't actually finish exploring. I guess I should have put her in Outeran. Alright, we've made an aggressive play for control of the landmass. And my suspicion is that red is not very strong defensively, just because that, tends to be the way. Morgar do not have powerful land armies as a rule. So maybe as we start to build troops, we can get something going. I want to scout around a little bit. I don't want to go too far though, because obviously, this ship's about to come out, and we got work to do. All right, somebody pulled that already. I mean, good for them, but not as good for me, probably. Yeah, I'm a little concerned. I think we're getting off the ground a little slowly here, and everybody else seems to be doing really well. We did get that early wonder, and it probably will matter. Yeah, as long as we keep the Empire's approval level as a whole at happy or more, we are We are producing a lot of resources, and we are getting a cost reduction on all researches, even if the Empire is not really very happy. Oh, we should just go ahead and assimilate, because this should be enough. The villages don't need to be rebuilt for our faction quest, right? Yeah, they're certainly pacified. I guess I should have had a route already queued in here. All right, well, if you're going to go over there, I can just go capture this fortress. Okay, excellent. My friends have taken the first step in securing their place on the surface. Phase 1 only has one step. First of the bloodline, Zolia has taken the first step in securing the Vaulter's future. A strong alliance with a local tribe has been built. Alas, my own progress in uncovering my history has not been so fruitful. My memory circuits have all but failed, and only confusing glimpses of the past cross my electronic mind. I see tormented faces, hear gargled screams, feel the slick touch of warm blood. Memories of the operations I performed? Or something darker? On my chassis is stenciled my droid class, Operation and Medical Procedures Robot. But I am certain I was known by another name. Whatever it was eludes me, though. To save myself from madness, I try not to dwell on these matters, instead to focus on the plight of my new masters. The legends of their past are awakening. Far beneath the surface, in the excavations that only came to light from the subterranean quakes, they discover more and more ancient relics bearing their sigils. They yearn to unravel these mysteries, perhaps even learn things that will grant them an advantage over the other races that stalk this great planet. First of the bloodline, Zolia discusses these things with the fire of a zealot in her eyes. I have a feeling that their story and my own will entwine. For now, my masters concentrate on establishing a more secure foothold on this rugged land. Mines must be founded, while enemies who encroach on our lands must be destroyed. Build 2 new strategic resource extractors is a really shitty goal. I wonder if destroying this and then rebuilding it will work. It's like, we definitely need to get that up. You need to grab pearls while there are still some pearls to grab, because the Skyfin is just running around hoovering everything up. Okay, there's another glass steel here. Interesting. Your strategic advisors counsel you in hushed and embarrassed tones that your military strategies have become predictable. Predictable? That's almost as bad as boring. What can you do to make your battlefield presence a bit less by the numbers and your enemies a bit less efficient? Your deputy for Imperial Diversity has a recommendation. Recruit additional minor faction peoples into your empire, and use their unusual and often powerful tactics in your battles. Change your lineup, alter your abilities. Now there's a suggestion that might just make the neighbors think twice when they decide to send troops rolling in your direction. And all the more surprising that it came from an in-law, generally regarded as useless, for whom you had to invent the job and the title. So have 4 cities, basically. That's really interesting. That is not a minor faction quest that we see very often. So you have 4 cities outside of this region, is what that quest is, which is a little awkward. Ooh, there's 2 spice deposits in Ontop. Okay, so we should settle Ontop, which means actually we are going to be able to do that. And if Ontop has any strategics, actually this is going to work out just fine for us. I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and build the settler for that right now. So I should have thought this through a little bit better. The fact that it makes the most sense to assimilate the Dorgeshi out of all the options we have over here means that I probably didn't actually need Dawn Officers, because we have a cavalry unit. Now, I do want to note that these are 2 different units. They're both cavalry, but they're 2 different roles. The game does not contain an explicit divide here, but if you look at the stats of the units and the way they function, it's pretty clear that broadly infantry units are divided into light infantry and heavy infantry, and cavalry units are kind of divided the same way. The Dawn Officer is definitely a heavy cavalry unit, and the Berdeki is definitely a light cavalry unit. Actually, the defense of the Berdeki is way higher than I thought it was. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But, you know, there are some cavalry that exist mostly to play baffling, and there are some cavalry that exist to actually commit murder. And the Berdeki may be more of a baffle than I thought it was. But anyway, it's a good high initiative cavalry unit. It's got that chance to stun on charge. Yeah, maybe you are heavy cav, which means that actually, yeah, these units are quite similar in their application. Makes the research of the Dawn Officer even less of a good idea. The downside of a Berdeki is that the Berdeki do not have the Techno Lover trait, and so will not benefit quite as much from a great big titanium sword. They still look super cool with it, though. Right, if we actually do the math here, so you're allowed one-handed sword or one-handed axes and two-handed axes. Okay, I would probably go two-handed axes. Range Slayer does give you the bonus against support units as well, and we know that the Morgar Mastermind is a support unit. So you can see they're on foot, but they are speed 6 like other cavalry units. They have charge and stuff. So the difference here is better weapons for fighting ranged units specifically, alongside the Techno Lover stat boost for Dawn Officer, versus much higher base initiative and the crippling charge on the Berdeki. And then the Berdeki with the swords are also going to be good at fighting infantry. So 49 attack on 36 damage. No, I think we're still building Dawn Officers, which is good. That means that it was not wrong for me to research them. In a ranged versus ranged battle, I think we're probably going to stick to the crossbow and shield play, maybe something like this. And bonus movement for you so that you can keep up with the cav. Okay, I think that's what our basic set of troops look like. And as you can see, 76 attack on 59 damage at 3 range. Like, these are very powerful units with Techno Lover. Unfortunately, they're also quite expensive to build. And we are, for some reason, hemorrhaging money right now. Having a little bit of control of the sea might be helpful in that regard. I mean, we could just... How on earth did one of my... This looks like one of my units got attacked twice and another one got attacked once? How would there be that many turns in that combat? Oh, me not being there to drive, one of them parked in the lightning or something, probably. And that has given us control of the ocean region. That is the only fortress here. There is a sunken ruin over there that contains an awful lot of spices. That's interesting. Alright, let's have a look over here and see if this... Oh, never mind. Boy, they sure would be right there, huh? Okay, we'll just have to wait for them to fly away next turn before we advance again. There's so many Kazanji, and Kazanji are like so well suited to fight early vaulters. Right, we're gonna have to reform the we have to make some changes to our city budgeting here. Absolutely not. I am going to use that titanium to secure the removal of the black spot, but not in quite that way. Are you out of movement? Okay. We can move in now and take a quick peek. Remember they have flying, so even though their total move speed is lower than mine, they will catch me because they can fly over the forests if I'm not careful. I'm just waiting for the whatever ships might be around here to expend their movement. Okay, 50 dust. That actually is wonderful news. Means I don't have to reassign people to dust production, which obviously I do not want to do. So this is just going to make life harder at the moment. Let's get Central Market, because the Empire as a whole is not maintaining fervency. Alright, we're starting to get these cities at least able to construct things. Empire population as a whole is kind of low. Okay, wow, a third spice deposit, and also there's glass steel here. And also, you know, assholes. Oh, they have 6 move. Alright, well, we're just gonna unassign you. And then reassign you. We're gonna remake you as an army on Ostarcha. And we may still have to assign some people to dust. Because I need to have 50 dusts that I can pursue the pacification of these units. Or these villages. Do I just want to fight a random in the middle of nowhere? Yeah, probably. Just taking out ships when they're individual is a good idea. Hopefully this will go really, really quickly, and I'm going to manual all of my sea combat from now on, because apparently we're going to pay a serious price if we don't. Alright, you just start close for morale. Oh, and we were lied to. We were lied to about the initiative order. Okay. That's only 2 pearls down there. Let's go get this. This would be nice. Do we want to rerun the titanium? So titanium is still our holy resource. Yeah. So we don't need to have the booster active to have units benefit from the extra stats on the titanium weapons. But we probably shouldn't stop building yet. We have to construct all of this population, because the damn Morgar just burned all the cities and then burned all the villages and then left them burned. I'm gonna not refire it for right now. I think losing all of our military units early did cost us, I think, quite a lot. But we definitely still have a chance of getting back in here because the Morgar make a really soft neighbor. They're jerks, but they're not actually that dangerous. Okay, we got glass, steel, and spices. Definitely going to fire that spice booster. And then we can just do this again. But I think, right, it's got to be that. Okay. So... is that a cliff? No, that's just a step. We can interact from this side. Here's 50 dust. Bring 5 glass steel to that village all the way in the goddamn corner. Well, we can certainly afford to give them the glass steel. I'm not afraid of that part. It couldn't have been this village, though. Alright, so we've just committed our new Empire plan. Do I want to try to grab this? I mean, I may as well. I guess let's see what the resistance looks like. Oh, hey, we're about to get our first eclipse here. Turn 41. at least 3 turns have 2 different types of... Okay, yep. Cannot realistically do that. What I can do is this. Also, Ozek can grab us the Will of Achille. Alright. Again, like I said, we are no longer doing auto-resolves. Just not trustworthy. I guess I should start back here so that I get to... Do I think it's actually going to give me the initiative? Because the problem is, the reason that things got reshuffled is because we have the exact same initiative, so it determines randomly who goes where. But I really think that it should hold the order that it shows during initial setup. And there's no way to tell if it will or not. So I'm just going to let you move in. All right. I want to be the one who chooses. Does this confer any combat advantage? No, not really. I can just position my ships such that he didn't get a choice, but... Okay. There we go. Oh, and that's another ocean region, actually. It was also a one fortress region. So that's the cult. That's interesting news. So it seems like there's maybe going to be land available here. Oh no, this is neutral. It's just weirdly colored. Okay, maybe we're not as tight on territory as I thought. I am going to sail back here because we know that there was a neutral vessel in this region, and we definitely did not, one of the 2 ships that started in the fortress, and we didn't deal with it, so it should still be sailing around, and it could, in theory, uncap our fortress at any time. So where do I actually want to settle up here? I think this city is valuable. Or this region is valuable. The spices are hugely worth it. Do we just want to settle... I mean, maybe I just want to settle near the steel stalks. It's the only place where there is a where there's a plus approval anomaly we could just put down on the coast. I don't hate it, because like the purpose of this city is pretty much just to... It's never going to be one of the big and powerful ones. It's just to hold a region that has a lot of valuable resources in it. So I could move up, put the city down immediately, and then attack and try to use the militia to stop him from killing me. I don't know. Let's pound out a seed storage just really fast here, and then we'll probably get to building military units. Adoran will be finished with its big build thing as well. Okay. So I kind of don't want to move this unit. Or are you out of movement? Yeah, I guess I can go to here. And then dodge into my own territory at the beginning of the next turn. And we'll make this turn the last of the episode. I do not think that I am playing super well here. And there's definitely some errors going on my part that are contributing to the difficulty that we're seeing. So I do apologize for that. And if it does end up costing us the game, then, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but it sure would be better for things not to work that way. So let's get a movement conflux followed by a ruin search right away. 60 dust. Really great news. The demons ran off. So it's either here or here, right? I think it's here. It's got to be here. It's got to be more coastline. Yeah. So Antab needs to produce that glass steel extractor to move our faction quest forward. Also those spice extractors to move our spice amounts forward. Critically important, but none of it matters more than getting the mill foundry finished. And now we need to move our hero toward pacification here to earn 3 extra population to help this stuff actually go down. Plus 40% on attributes of units from hostile minor faction village. What the hell? You know, I'm not playing that well, but also I feel like we're catching a lot of rough beats here. I guess that's how it feels when you're playing poorly, though. Outbreaks of extreme violence are flaring up and down the land. Auriga disease inquisitors squarely place the blame with undisciplined armies infected with a rabies-like pestilence. Fortunately, the origin of the contagion is believed to be known, which is to say, burn down all of the villages in this. This is where it's coming from. But there's no way for us to do that. So hopefully the other players are on top of it. Okay. Yep, you should rebuild population as well. It is really wild to see the Morgar player just burn a ton of villages, both because it's kind of out of touch with their strategies, and because... how? All they have is masterminds. How are they winning battles? Okay, so yeah, it might turn out to be... might turn out to be smart to come settle down here. So the cult is the lavender player. Blue is something else, but we don't know what, because all we can see of them is minor faction troops. That's very interesting. All right, well, I think this may be where we call it for right now. I'm not sure what I want to build in Ozdarcha. It's got to be military units, probably, but like, gosh, we're in a weird position. Yeah, I don't really know what to make of it. That's what I that's what I have to say for right now. Gosh, we're in a weird position. My start feels kind of slow and awkward. If we can still press red and maybe take some territory off of them, perhaps we can swing into things from there. I don't know. I think we've gotten a little bit lucky here in that our neighbor is red and not like necrophages or broken lords or somebody against whom we might already be dead. So that's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time tomorrow, I'm going to be making some attempt to claw us back into a position from which we can actually play the video game. And we'll see you then.